অরিজিৎ আমাদের রেসপেক্টেড স্পিকার জয়েন করে গেছেন তো?
হ্যাঁ, আমাদের রেসপেক্টেড স্পিকার জয়েন করে গেছেন।
ম্যাম,
Okay, you can start. Yes, yes.
Okay. A very good morning to all of you. Respected Principal Madam, our honorable guest today, Ms. Paridhi Jain, my dear colleagues, and my dear students. I, Dr. Shuchishmita Das, IQAC Coordinator of THK Jain College, welcomes you all to the one-day webinar on 16th Annual Endangered Species Day, organized by the Department of Zoology of THK Jain College. Students, I hope you all are doing well. As we all know, we are going through a very, very difficult time. And we just hope, we just pray that this phase will be over and we can get back to a normal life. But we all know that the show must go on through the education. Education cannot come to a stop. Okay? So in view of that, the Department of Zoology has organized this lovely webinar. And we are all looking forward to hear from our speaker, Ms. Paridhi Jain, Project Associate, UNDP India. And with this, I would like to request our respected Principal Madam, Dr. Moshmi Singh Sengupta, to give her introductory speech. Madam, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Shuchishmita Das, IQAC Coordinator, for your introduction. Now, a very good morning, everyone. I am pleasure to welcome you all to the event of observing National Endangered Species Day that falls on 21st May in this year 2021. I offer my special and hearty welcome to Ms. Paridhi Jain, Project Associate of United Nations Development Program, UNDP, to this celebration event, which is organized by the Department of Zoology of THK Jain College. So this is, of course, an important opportunity for all of us to learn about endangered wildlife species that includes both animal and plants. By observing this day, we can raise awareness, basically among the people, about the protection or conservation of wildlife species. See, if any incident happens to us, we can raise our voice, ask for help. But what about those wild animals or plants who are the integral parts of this ecosystem? They're getting exploited here. So people with good sense must have come forward and contribute at their level best to protect the interest of these wildlife species. If we don't importance of nature and wildlife species, if we don't protect them with their natural habitat, the whole ecosystem will be disturbed. Another important point is that not only the human populations are under this threat of COVID-19, there are reports that many other animals too, including cats, dogs, even pets, they are getting tested positive for coronavirus. Recently, a report came that 8 Asiatic lions are endangered species, you know, and in the zoo in Hyderabad, they have tested positive for COVID-19. How unfortunate all this. We cannot expect any social distancing from them, but to rather provide medication and other that we can provide them with. So what I mean to say here is that we have to take care of our own, at the same time take care of our nature, biosphere and wildlife species. Not only for us, but also for future generations, so that they can see all these wildlife species. Okay, so I'm really thankful that in this during this current pandemic situation, the zoology department of our college has taken the initiative to mark this day, a special day, and organized a webinar for all of us. Thank you very much. I am very much thankful to our today's speaker, Ms. Jain, and also thankful to Professor Ritan Roy, departmental in charge, who basically he's not well today. So he's probably he has joined, but we can I don't know whether he is able to conduct all this program or not. But he said Orijit is there, Professor Orijit is there, and he will take care of all this. program. And also I am thankful the other members, staff members, and of course probably Deepan is here for our broadcasting and all that YouTube broadcasting. So again, very much I am thankful also to our my dear students. Basically, they are taking part in this webinar, and as far as I know that they have some planning to for I mean the some activity to present in this webinar. So with all this, I end, and I wish that it will be the program will be very much interactive. Thank you all. Thank you for your patience. So Dijit, may I request you, or Ritan is there?
Yes, ma'am, I am here.
Okay, you are here. Okay.
Thank you, Professor Das, and thank you, our respected principal, ma'am, for their kind and enlightening words. Today, we, the Zoology Department of THK Jain College, we are observing 16th annual Endangered Species Day. So, what are endangered species? Normally, when we are asked to define what are endangered species, we usually say these are the animals or plants which are on the verge of extinction. That means who get extinct near soon if we don't conserve them right now. Now, once I have read a quote that one day we will know that all animals have a soul. Hopefully, this knowledge does not come when it's too late. So it was a very nice quote when I read it. But the thing is that I think that we are actually too late. A statistical study says that in 2020, around 16,306 species are categorized as endangered, which is an up from the 2019 value, which is 16,118. And every year it is increasing. When we study for exam, we come up with many reasons behind this. But for me, the most important reason is the lack of knowledge about this animal and the plants. When we are supposed to ask, if it is said to ask any random person that the value of an elephant tusk or a crocodile skin or a rhino horn, you will definitely get a more or less perfect answer. But when you ask them what is their value, what is their role, or what is the role of these animals in the environment or their role in our lives, I am very sure that there will be no answer. Some will even laugh listening that these animals have some values in our life. We humans value these animals financially, but not ecologically. And thus, we are losing hope to save them day by day. When we study, we learn to define the importance of these animals with terms like flagship species, keystone species, indicator species, etc. But sadly, those are the terms for us. We are a very small part of population. The major part of the population is still unaware about the importance of these animals. Today, it is our responsibility to let others know the worth of these animals, not financially, but ecologically. We are not pretending to be generous while doing so. We are actually trying to be selfish while doing so. Because if these animals move farther up on the list, the whole ecosystem will fall, and so does our society and us. So we are supposed to tell people, we are supposed to make people know about what is the worth of these animals or what these animals are actually doing for us. We are just in the front screen, but they are actually holding the backstage. They are actually managing the backstage. So if we don't respect them, if we don't conserve them, if we don't save them, then one day the whole stage will fall down. Our students of 4th semester have prepared a very nice enlightening video for all of us on a few of these endangered animals. I would like to ask Rajdeep Boni, our fourth semester student, to play the video for us. Rajdeep?
Yes, sir.
India is home to about 91,000 species of animals, and today we are going to talk about few of the most endangered species found in India. The mammal whose name you have probably not heard before, the pangolin. The Indian pangolin is found throughout the country south of the Himalayas, while the Chinese pangolin ranges through Assam and the eastern Himalayas. Some are small as a house cat and others as big as a medium-sized dog. The body of a pangolin is covered with as many as 1,000 scales for protection from predators. Pangolin scales are made up of keratin, same material found in fingernails. Its curling up like a ball is its only natural form of defense. Pangolins reproduce slowly, giving birth to only one baby a year. Pangolin is not only the most trafficked but also the most poached animal in the world. And according to some estimates, it is more than 1 million in the last decade. Many believe pangolin scales, powder or paste act as a remedy to arthritis, stomach disorders, epilepsy, menstrual pain, and so many more which have no proper scientific base. Golden langurs can be most easily recognized by the color of their fur, after which they are named. It has been noted that their fur changes colors according to the seasons as well as geography. They are highly dependent on trees living in the upper canopy of forests. They are also known as leaf monkeys. They have a long prehensile tail which they use for balance. Golden langurs have a herbivorous diet and they feed on leaves, fruits, seeds, buds, and flowers of trees. They live in troops ranging from 8 to 15 individuals. These species is nearly extinct and conservation efforts have been made. They are endemic to western Assam, India and southern Bhutan. Their habitat is restricted to the region surrounded by 4 geographical landmarks, namely the foothills of Bhutan north, Manas River east, Sankosh River west and Brahmaputra River south. Their habitat is restricted by natural boundaries, further increasing the threat of extinction. Indian narrow-headed soft-shell turtle or small-headed soft-shell turtle is an endangered species of soft-shell turtle found in rivers of the Indian subcontinent. These type of turtles grow very big in size, a maximum about 300 pounds in weight and a maximum size of 1 meter. And they are distinguished from other turtle species by their carapace, which is not hard in type as found in other turtles. It feeds on small fish, frogs, crustaceans, mollusks, which it ambushes. They prefer clear, large, or medium rivers with sandy bottoms. It spends most of their time concealed below the sand, sometimes with the only tip of the nose exposed. It is threatened by hunting and habitat loss. There are many shady illegal markets in India, for example in Tripura, which is infamous for selling live turtles and their meat. It is our duty to conserve and protect such vulnerable and beautiful species and prevent it from getting extinct. The Bugum Lyocicla was first spotted in 1995 in Arunachal Pradesh, but was not seen again in the next 10 years. It was described as a new species in 2006. The description was made without the collection of type specimens as they were too few to risk killing one. It is an critically endangered species with a small population and a very restricted distribution range. The Bugum Lyocicla is a small babbler with olive grey plumage and a black cap. The face is marked with prominent orange-yellow lores and the wings have yellow, red and white patches. The tail is black with crimson-colored undertail, coverts and red tips. While the species is capable of living in degraded forests, its small population is considered threatened. Sloth bears are bears of a kind. They have special adaptations in their lips, nostrils, and even in their teeth to be able to eat up to 10,000 ants in a single ant sitting. They have a strong sense in smell which they use to find their source of food. Sloth bears have a shaggy, dusty black coat which do not have an undercoat and which protects them from tropical insects and also keeps them cool inside. It grows 5 to 6 feet long and weigh 200 to 300 pounds on average, and are the only animals to carry their young ones on their back for 6 months. Sloth bears are noisy animals. They grunt and snort as they pull down branches to get fruit, dig for termites and ants, or snuffle under debris for grubs and beetles. If threatened, they will stand on 2 legs, brandishing their clawed forepaws as weapons. Their large canines are used as defense against tigers. Sloth bears are found in Western Ghats region of Karnataka, covering a habitat range of about 38,000 square kilometers. The Royal Bengal tiger is a tiger from a specific population of the Panthera tigris subspecies that is native to the Indian subcontinent. The Bengal tiger is the national animal of India and Bangladesh. At approximately 4 inches long, the Bengal tiger has the largest canine teeth of any other living cat, and their retractable claws are perfect for climbing trees. Bengal tigers are solitary and spend most of their day resting in shaded areas, conserving energy for their late hunts. That is, their excellent vision and hearing sense helps them hunt during nighttime. Just like humans have unique identity and can be differentiated. Same is with tigers. The Royal Bengal tigers have unique combination and pattern of strips, and no two tigers will appear to be same. These tigers have excellent memory than most of the animals and humans. Its saliva has antiseptic properties, and hence, when they get injured, they lick themselves, which heals the wound. This endangered species of India loves to live in a companionless environment. They are usually spotted in mangroves, swamps, and grasslands. Bengal tigers are spotted in jungles of West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Assam, Rajasthan, Orissa, Uttar Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. Bengal tigers are threatened by poaching, loss, and fragmentation of habitat, and was estimated at comprising fewer than 2,500 wild individuals by 2011.
Thank you, Rajdeep, and the students of fourth semester for such a nice informative video. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our today's speaker, Ms. Paridhi Jain. Ms. Paridhi Jain is currently working as a project associate conservation in the Secure Himalayan project in NRM division of UNDP India. She has 7 years of experience in wildlife ecology research, conservation communication, conservation livelihood management, and developing landscape management strategies. Apart from UNDP, she has worked with wildlife institutions like WII and BNHS. I would like to ask Ms. Jain to start her session. Ms. Jain.
Hi all. I'm really thankful to THK Jain College, respected principal madam, professors, and the highly motivated students for inviting me here. Am I audible?
Yes, madam, you are audible.
So it was really nice to see that video, and that the students are so enthusiastic towards wildlife communication. And now, I mean, I would like to highlight that it is really important to understand what is the and environment program. So what are the careers in wildlife conservation that you can opt for? So it depends on your interest first, and more importantly, I believe more than your interest, you should identify clearly what are your strengths on, and then I mean they can be polished over time. So first you can go into research, become a wildlife biologist, researcher, and then later on a scientist. And then there are these hotels and wildlife safari parks who have these openings of naturalists. Then you can go into teaching, become a professor, or a conservation manager like me, or you can go into communication or storytelling. This is also a highly emerging field, but for that I would advise you to have certain experience in wildlife ecology, and then go for a journalism degree or a communication science communication degree, and then you can go into that. And almost all of the wildlife organizations and NGOs have openings in communication and storytelling. I mean, if you have the interest for wildlife communication and nature education, then you can go for this. And then there's environment management, EIA expert. For this, you will need to have another degree in EIA management. Wildlife photography, this is also an emerging field, but it's full of struggles. And I advise, I mean, that need to have I think, better to have a job, and then you can pursue wildlife photography side by side, because it's a career full of struggles. Then there is wildlife filmmaking and wildlife presentation. Similarly, for this you need to have a degree in either wildlife filmmaking or science communication, and then you can apply for channels like Animal Planet, BBC, Discovery, National Geographic over the years. So what can we do for conservation? Adopt wildlife conservation as profession. If not, then become eco-friendly, reduce your carbon footprint. Engage in, this is really important, to engage in awareness generation talks, workshops, in your peers, your friends, family, talk about topics like climate change and what is human-wildlife conflict and illegal wildlife trade. The more we discuss, the more solutions we can identify, and it will generate more interest among our friends and family. And that's why it's really important to generate awareness in your surroundings. There are these eco days and World Environment Days also coming up, and there's several eco days throughout the year. You can have a short posters, you can circulate them, you can have short programs in your colonies, in your schools, which will help generate nature awareness and nature awareness about wildlife species. Then I'll just end here. I think you know all of these stuff, but still, how can we become eco-friendly? It's really important. I mean, we focus on getting a degree, focusing on wildlife. Have any detailed queries about careers or anything, you can email me here. And my presentation will also be there for free circulation. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for such a nice presentation, nice and informative presentation. I hope our students will definitely will be encouraged to pursue wildlife as their career. I would like to ask the students if they have any questions right now for Ms. Jain, they can raise their hand and ask. Yes, Ananya Morang, you can ask your question. Ananya Morang, can you hear me? You raised your hand to ask a question, right? You can ask your question. Okay, I think there is any problem. So Rasdeep
Students,
Boni,
you don't have any question? You are not
Rasdeep Boni,
asking any question? Students, what happened to you?
Rasdeep Bonik, you are raising your hand. Please ask your question.
Good morning, ma'am. This is Rajdeep. I have a question, ma'am. Is this present COVID situation, like, what is its effect on the present endangered, like, situation in our country? This COVID situation, is it helping it, or is it actually like making it worse?
I believe there are various things of what I understand. We cannot just talk about endangered species, but it's about all the wildlife that exists in our country and outside. When COVID came, it was believed that bats were the carrier for this disease, and because of that, I read in newspapers and also heard from several people that people started destroying colonies of bats. That was really sad to see, because in our country, I mean, whatever we see in WhatsApp messages and whatever people are saying, we believe that. So that was really bad. And a circular was also released by the bats researchers, that the virus which affects the humans, that is different, the SARS-CoV, and which affects bats, that is different. So that was one thing. Because when we have come second year and there is a second wave, the situation is still same. As people are not talking about bats, yes, but when it comes to, I mean, protected areas and endangered species, we have read in the newspapers that the virus is being transmitted from humans to wildlife species, like the Asiatic lion case in the Hyderabad Zoo. So, I mean, we obviously don't have any danger from the wildlife, but they obviously have. So, I mean, in Madhya Pradesh or in other states, I had heard that the protected areas were being closed. So, I mean, it's a matter of awareness that we need to do. That we don't believe on these rumors about bats and other species. Yeah. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. I have a counter question to this, ma'am. Actually, I'm asking you that maybe by the effect of lockdown, the human influence has heavily decreased. So my question is, ma'am, is human influence, is it actually good for the conservation? Like, is it actually giving the animals or different species a freedom to be free, or is it like affecting the conservation, like to their habitat? Maybe our presence or our influence is actually destroying, or maybe we are the catalyst to their destruction. So that is my point, ma'am. Is it actually doing such a thing?
So obviously, over influencing and over when we are trying to approach, when we are trying to go into their habitats, and then obviously it's not good. And last year also, there were reports that when the lockdown happened, there were several wildlife species which were freely roaming on roads. There was a civet photograph that was circulated. So obviously, the fear that they have against humans, that actually, I guess, went away. And we also know that several wildlife species, they die because of these road mortalities. So obviously, when the human influences decreases, it is beneficial for environment, it's beneficial for wildlife, because road mortalities are decreasing, the pollution levels that they have, that's also gone down, especially areas like Delhi and all. And then there is a good amount of wildlife which exists around metros as well. So it is obviously, I think it is good for wildlife conservation. And it is always said that when we are over consuming beyond our limit, the nature, it takes the revenge. It is said. I mean, and it is also said, we don't know what has happened exactly, but maybe after we were over consuming, and then there was situation of illegal wildlife trade in China and wherever from the viruses come. So in a way, after lockdown has happened, in a way, after the human influence has declined, maybe the situation will be good for species conservation in the long run, I think.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Any other students who have any questions?
Okay, ma'am. I have one question. One question. Just wanted to know that, in human, we have our human count estimation, through sensors or like that. We have that method, and in for wildlife counting and estimation, the census is there, na? So can you tell me some? Give you some idea about that, how it is done, wildlife census, or how that is directly related with the conservation. Can you tell me? And just out of curiosity, I am asking you. It's
Yeah, of course. I was also involved in wildlife census, so I'm very interested in this topic anyways. So there are several methods to do the census. I mainly know stuff on mammalian count, mammalian species research. So while I was in Rajasthan, and so places in like Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, there what they do is they do the water hole census on around new moon, which happens in May. So what they do is at that time in summers, the water sources mainly they decline, and it's a dry forest, and the water is in real shortage. So they have these smaller either natural water bodies or some smaller artificial water holes that they have been made by the forest department. So they sit for 24 hours at one place. There are volunteers on a tree or in some forest chalky without movement, and then they count by telemarking. They have these they have these sheets where they record the observations. So that is one, water hole census. It happens in summers. Second is camera trapping. That is being used mostly, especially in Himalayas. I'm working in Sikkim, so especially places like Himalayas, and animal species it's very difficult to sight. So what we do is we deploy the camera traps. It mainly it depends when you want to deploy, because if you do 24 hours of camera trapping, like day and night, sometimes there are chances that there is theft. So in Sikkim and Himalayas, that's not a problem. But I mean, I've done camera trapping in Haryana as well. So in Haryana, that was a serious problem. We wherever we deployed the camera traps, people just used to steal it, and so we lost so many camera traps. And then there are other techniques like direct count as well. Birds, so this was for mammals, and there you can also do the radio collaring. That's also one technique. that they do a lot in Wildlife Institute of India, but it's a highly expensive technique in which a radio collar is installed around the neck of the species like tiger. They're even planning to do radio collaring for hyena. So radio signals are being so there is a collar, and then the radio signals are being like received in the receiver that you have. And then these days we also have the microchip technology. Smaller species like the turtles, dolphins, and all. They install a microchip, so you can study the movement as well, apart from the population. And then then there is this was for mammals, and for birds and all. Also, you can do the water hole count and do the scan sampling and all. So that's all.
Thank you very much, madam, for your answers. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am, for your answer. Thank you, principal ma'am, for the question. It definitely enlightened our students also about the methods. So any other questions? Is there any other student who wants to ask any question? So I think our students are pretty much full with the knowledge they have gained right now. So we are going to move on to the next part of our session. That is, there was a poster competition arranged for this purpose. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some of the posters that have been submitted by our students for the poster competition. Is my screen visible to everybody?
Yes. Yes, carry on.
This poster is presented by Ritika Shaha from our first year student, the first sem student, Ritika Shaha. This poster was presented by our student from semester 4, Mukta Shaw. This poster was presented by our student from 6th semester, Shonchita Mukherjee. This poster is presented by a student of 4th semester, Vishal Mishra. This poster was presented by our student of 6th semester, Shreyoshi Dotto. This poster was presented by our student of, again, 4th semester, Reena Prajapati. So these are the few posters that were submitted by our students for the poster competition. Now it's time for the result of the poster competition. Ms. Jain has judged this poster based on visual appeal, messages, and information dumping. And based on that, the third position in the poster competition was secured by Vishal Mishra of 4th semester. The second position was secured by Sanchita Mukherjee of 6th semester. And the poster which has secured the first position is by Anjali Singh of 6th semester. So as it's a virtual one, so we can virtually clap for all the pupils who have submitted their posters for the poster competition. They have shown a very nice effort to do this. And of course, a bit more applause for these three people who have secured the first, second, and the third position. So our virtual applause for Anjali Singh, Sanchita Mukherjee, and Vishal Mishra. Now, after announcing the result of the poster competition, we would like to conclude our session. And before concluding our session, I would like to thank our speaker, Ms. Jain, for giving us her time and share a part of our knowledge with us and encouraging us to do something for our extended community. I would like to thank our principal ma'am for encouraging us to arrange such educative programs for our students. I would also like to thank our head of the department, Professor Ritayan Roy, who is responsible for arranging the whole program. And we all will pray for his soon recovery. I also like to thank all of my colleagues for their constant support, and especially and lastly, I would like to thank all the students who have joined here, who have joined us to observe such a special occasion. And whatever we have learned today from Ms. Jain, we will like to use that knowledge in the future, and also we would like to transfer that knowledge to those people who doesn't know about these things, so that we all together can save these animals who are endangered. We should save them so that their numbers can increase, and those who are not endangered, we should also save them so that they should not become endangered in the future. We have responsibility to all these animals and plants. We are students of zoology, so we always feel obligated that we have responsibility to the animals, but plants are also a part of our community. So being a human being, we should be responsible, we should protect all these animals and the plants. And by saying so, I would like to conclude our session. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Principal Ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Jain. Thank you all the students and my colleagues who have joined together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Morijit. So, and congrats to all the participants, obviously, and because they have, I mean, the winners that are definitely, I congratulate them for, but the participants also, because they have, I have seen all the posters, and it is unique in every sense. Okay, and they have accumulated, they have taken this exercise, they have done all this, they have accumulated all the information that I appreciate. Okay, so thank you, madam, Ms. Jain, and thank you all. So it's the end. Yes, I announce I'm in the closing of the session. Okay.
Okay. Okay.